everybody. Welcome to Fit for Life. My name is Anna. Today you're going to need a TheraBand, so grab one of those and let's get up and get moving. We'll start with our warm-up. As usual, nice high knees. Get those arms involved and get the blood flowing. So, like I said, hello, welcome. My name is Anna. I am a kinesiologist, exercise specialist here in Westlock for the Aspen Primary Care Network. We used to do this class in person here at the Spirit Center, but while we can't meet in person, we're going to do our best to keep moving, keep motivated, and feeling our best in the safety of our own homes. So make sure you're getting everything going here while you're exercising. You're making sure that you're being safe. The Aspen PCN is not liable for any type of injuries or damages that can be incurred during participation with these videos. So please, if there's something not quite feeling right while you're at home, just sit down, take a break, wait until the next exercise. No big deal. Safety first. You make sure you take care of yourself, okay? Nice warm up here. Getting the blood flowing, getting the breath going, raising the heart rate here. We're lubricating the joints and just getting everything moving. Warm-up is supposed to protect us from injury while we're exercising. Just get a nice, gradual wake up to those muscles. Okay, let's move to our polka here. Nice and light on our toes. Good job. We'll be ready to go dancing once we're allowed to do that again someday. Okay, oh, I'm gonna try and make sure that I'm relatively on time today. We'll see how that goes. I try to keep these videos between 30 to 40 minutes. They're usually closer around the 40-minute mark. Right. Nice and light on your feet. And let's do our hip swings. Nice and loose through the hip joint there. Nice to keep moving and stay warm while it's snowy out. It can be a little discouraging if we're used to exercising outside. Which sides? A lot of people are used to going for a walk outside, so it's nice to know how we can move our bodies inside while the weather keeps us from going out. So these videos are a nice way to do that. All right. And doing our shoulder circles here. Starting small, getting bigger, and getting smaller again. Nice and warmed up to the shoulders. Switch directions. Start small, getting bigger. Good job. And getting smaller and smaller again. All right, give those shoulders a bit of a wiggle. Squeeze them back, down. Reset that posture a bit. Again, back, down, wiggle, wiggle, and then squeezing back and down. Good job. So our first exercise is going to be something a little bit new variation of an old exercise. So this is going to be a front to back lunge. So what that means, and have your chair nearby for balance, we're going to start in one position and we're going to lunge forward and then go straight to backward. Okay? So you can see how we need a little bit of balance here. Now, if this is too difficult, you can stick with the static lunge where we were before, just coming down. You can do that quarter lunge If you don't want to go down all the way, that's fine. Keeping in mind that we're still thinking about this exercise. I'm going to run into things here as going down. We're not thinking about lunging forward. All right, so that's going to hurt my front knee. We're coming down and we're going down. All right, I'm just touching and coming on back. Whoop, I'm going to fall over here. We're going to switch directions. Go with the other leg. Now again, if you want to stay in the static lunge where you're just getting into that nice big step and practicing coming down, coming on back up, that's fine too. You don't have to go down all the way if you're not comfortable doing that. If it hurts your knee, remember we're thinking about this knee coming down, not this knee coming forward, okay? If you can, do that front back lunge. Give yourself a bit of a challenge here. Coming to the front and coming to the back. All right? And back. Okay? Good job. Big work going on here. If your knees start to get sore, don't go down quite so far. That's okay if you're just doing the quarter lunge, all right? And stop in between. Everybody is working at a different spot here. Using the wall is nice for balance. All right. Okay, catch your breath wherever you were with that exercise. Again, we can think about making sure that we're working at our own comfort level. So I try to always show easier versions of things. Oh, the heat is on in the conference room today. It's warm in here. Usually it's cold. We're going to do our hip hikes next. So having our chair nearby for balance, we're going to go on one leg and drawing this hip up and then coming down. Draw up, come on down. Good job. We can catch our breath here a little bit after those lunges. They were a little more movement, which is good for us. Gets those big leg muscles moving, and now we're getting the smaller muscles moving. A few more. Good. And let's do the other side. On one leg, drawing the hip up and coming down. Nice hip hikes. Here, having strength in through this gluteus medius is so important for us to maintain our balance through our hips. So especially while we walk, it's important that we can keep our hips balanced. And doing this exercise is going to strengthen those muscles that keep our hips balanced. While we walk, while we stand on one leg, while we do all kinds of stuff. Okay, good. The next one we're going to do is our fire hydrant. So we're going to get into a tabletop position here for that. If you want, you can get down on the floor and do this on the floor. I like to use a chair. A lot of people find that kneeling on the floor is painful for their knees. So we can get into a tabletop position really easily just using a chair here. And we're going to do that nice fire hydrant movement that works those hip rotators. So this knee is bent, back stays nice and flat, and we're coming out to the side and coming on back in. All right, try and keep that back nice and flat. We're not rotating out or anything like that here. Nicely out, coming on back. Working those hip rotators, slow and controlled. Try to Pause at the top and control the release. Good job. Okay. Couple more. And last one. Wonderful. We'll switch directions, do the other side. Oh, I'm losing my band. Nicely into tabletop position. Our back is flat. If you find that this is difficult in through your wrist, you can go on your fists or even hold on to the side of the chair like that. Depends on how comfortable you are putting weight in through your hands. Bend this knee, and we're going to come on out, slowly back. Remembering to keep that back as nice and flat as you can. Nice hip rotator work in through here. Strengthening up some muscles that when they're very weak or very tight, sometimes they can be weak and tight, and they can actually they can mimic symptoms of sciatica that go down the back of the leg. A lot of pain can happen in there. And so we want to make sure that those hip rotators are strong. Couple more. And last one. Whew, good job. Our next exercise is going to be something a little bit new again. I'm going to call this a kickback. We're working on the hamstrings and the glutes again. You can use a band if you want. You can do this without a band as well, though. I'm going to get back down into tabletop position. Essentially what we're doing is we're taking that movement from the fire hydrant, that starting position, and we're kicking back, okay? So we're kicking back. Now what I'm going to do, if you want, you can use the band. You don't have to. You can do this without a band as well. I'm going to loop that band around my foot, and I'm going to hold on to it with my hand here. I'm holding on to it, and I'm going to kick back. Nice and back. Nice and slow and controlled. We're doing our best here, adding a little bit of resistance. Nice kick back. Some people call this a donkey kick. Good work. Squeeze that glute. Coming on back. Couple more. And good job. All right, so we can feel the difference between doing that with and without the band. Let's do it on the other side here. So again, you can do that with no band. Starting in that knee bent position, back stays nice and straight. We're kicking out. I'm not going to kick my table over. Kicking out. All right, keep that back flat. You can still get good work happening right there. Quite often I really like to do exercises with no band because our posture and our form is better. Now if you can maintain a decent posture and form, feel free to add in the band as long as you don't have too heavy of a band. Starting knee bent, kicking back. All right, you guys can see here better than me how good my form stays, or am I starting to give up some form because I'm adding resistance? So working those hamstrings, working those glutes, feeling how much this standing leg is having to work. Back. Good job. Couple more. You can do it. Kick back. Last one. Good job. All right. So a couple new little things to play around with today. We're going to do our chair squat here, or we sit down. So with our chair squats, as usual, I like to line up my feet a little bit wider than hip width apart. I'm going to be aiming for the chair with my tush and fully standing up. A few different versions of this are the quarter squat, coming on down and coming up. That's just fine. Maybe your knees aren't happy when you go all the way up and down. You can do a sit to stand, which is fine too. With the sit to stand, I want you to make sure that you're keeping your feet on the floor and that you're not doing the rock. Okay? Nobody wants to do that. That's cheating. All right? I like to do this version where we just touch and coming on back up. And I like that because it keeps us in such a better posture than if I was to squat in the middle and nowhere here. I would be likely to get all kinds of wonky. So I like aiming for the chair coming on up. That's my favorite one there. If you want to kick it up a notch, I think we talked about last time, you can put that band around your knees. That's a really nice version. Give yourself a bit of tension on that band. And you can do a squat there. Okay, having to keep those knees apart and not letting them buckle in. That's a great little exercise. Nice way to add a bit more dimension to your squat. Or you can do the lift where we come down and then knee up. So it's all about finding the squat that you like the best and practicing it until you feel like you're ready to progress to something harder or start playing with something new. Okay? We can sit down. We're going to do our seated row to start out with. So bringing that band around your feet. I'll switch to the side here so you guys can see a bit better. I sit pretty close on the edge of my seat, and we're going to draw that band back towards the chest. Now drawing those elbows back, I'm really going to think about this being a back exercise and pinching the shoulder blades together while we do this. Okay? Drawing back. Nice work coming from the back. Things that I don't want to see is this being an arm thing where we're just moving the elbows. And I also don't like seeing those shoulders hike up towards the ears. So thinking about those shoulders drawing back. Good. The opposite of this is the chest press. So looping that band behind your back. Starting out with the arms bent, and I push straight out from the chest here. Nice straight lines. I'm trying not to bow my hands out or anything like that. My shoulders are staying nice and down. I'm not curling forward like that. Back stays nice and straight. Good posture. We're not letting that head drift too far forward. Nicely seated here. Nice and slow and controlled. Always remembering with the band, we are controlling the release. Controlled eccentric contraction is so important. All right, let's do our biceps. This time I'm going to stand on the band with my feet, starting with the arms fairly straight, and now we're going to do a nice bicep curl. Slowly up, pause, slowly down. Full extension and as far on our flexion as we can, making sure that those elbows stay pinned into our sides. Common issue that I see people doing is they'll go like this, where those elbows drift forward. I don't want that. I want the elbows to stay tucked, lifting up, slowly down. Okay? Nice and controlled with the bicep curl. All right. Opposite of the bicep curl is our tricep extension. So for this one, I'm going to do one arm at a time. I'm going to hold that band in one hand, bring it across to the opposite shoulder, nice high grip on the band, and we're going to keep that elbow tucked again and straighten the arm out. We're starting in flexion, go to full extension, slowly come back, control the release, looking really good there. Okay. Wonderful. And we're going to do the other side. So anchor the band to the other shoulder. Nice high grip on that band, keeping the elbow tucked, and full extension and controlled release. Good job. Making sure you pause. Make sure, check in on that shoulder and make sure that it's not drifting up towards your ear. We don't want that. Keep that shoulder down. And you're doing great. Okay. For our core today, we're going to come back to our good old flutter kicks. So when we're working on our core, we of course want to think about good activation of that transverse abdominis muscle. So we talked about that a few videos ago, back at the start, a little bit more in depth, but just thinking about that corset muscle drawing you together really nicely and protecting your back. So when I'm doing these core exercises, the further forward I sit in my seat, the harder it's going to be. If you feel like you're straining or your back is hurting at all during these, sit a little bit further back in your seat and it's going to be a little bit easier. If you want more of a challenge, you can take this exercise down to the floor and do a semi-recline on the floor as well. So we're going to engage the core. I'm in this semi-reclined position. I'm not sitting back here relaxing. I'm going to be activated in through core. I'm going to pick up my feet, squeeze those glutes, and we're going to do a flutter here. Remembering to breathe while you do your core exercises. Make sure you get that nice exhale. Squeezing the glutes is going to help. Try and relax the glutes and keep going. See the difference there. Try and slow down your flutters and see how different that is. Okay? Whew. Take a break, relax. Again, check in if you're starting to strain and feel it in your back. Maybe you need to sit a little bit further back. We want to make sure that you're nice and upright and you're nice and stiff upright through that semi-reclined position and you're not having any type of bulging or any kind of pain through your abdomen or your back. All right, let's do it one more time. Picking up the feet, making sure we breathe. And getting a nice flutter there. We're very activated in through the core here. Making sure that you're not holding your breath. Try doing some crisscross flutters. It's going to change things up a little bit. And back the other way. Keep going a few more seconds. Feel that effort and good job. Awesome. So with the core, just making sure that if you are having any kind of problems, any kind of pain, that you're taking it back a notch. If you feel like you need any extra help with that because of back pain or anything, feel free to give us a call or talk to your doctor about getting a one-on-one referral. So let's move on to our balance. We're going to check in with our tandem stand as usual. So tandem means that we're standing heel to toe. I have my chair nearby and I'm going to see how I feel. You are able to do this with no hands, that's great. If you need some support, that's fine too. See how you feel transferring the weight from the back foot to the front foot and then back again. You should be starting to get more comfortable with that. And doing the other way. Standing heel to toe, checking in, seeing how you're feeling. Are you able to do this with no support? If you need support, can you go from a full hand to less and less fingers on your support? Are you able to transfer your weight and see how you feel there? Okay, good. We're going to move on to our one leg stand. If you're not comfortable on a one leg stand, just stick with the tandem stand. That's just fine. If you can, I want you to plant that one foot, making sure that you're grounded through the whole forefoot and the heel, coming onto one leg, checking your hips first to make sure that your hip didn't drop when you came onto that one leg, that you're nice and supported in through the hips, and then your leg, is it able to be nice and soft? Are you able to be soft through that standing knee? And we're going to do a 3-point touch today. So that means taking this forward foot, reaching your toe as far forward as we can to just touch in front. And then we're going to do a side touch, soft through this leg, reaching as far as you can to touch. Coming on back, slow as you can. We don't want to jack in the box back. And then reaching behind you to reach as far back to just touch and slowly coming back. And we should feel a lot of work going on in there through the foot, through the ankle, through the calf. Lots of work. Okay, let's do the other side. We're going to ground the foot. Coming onto one foot, check the hips that they're nice and straight and that you didn't sag in through that hip when you came onto one leg. Leg is nice and free. Standing knee is soft. Again, we have something nearby to catch us if we need to. Number one rule is nobody falls. Reaching this front foot forward as far as you can. I'm not putting my foot down. I'm just making contact with the floor and then I'm coming on back. I'm going to try and do my side reach. Getting down lower is going to get you further on that touch. Whoop, that's also harder coming back. And reaching back as far as you can. Lots of strength going on in this standing leg here. And coming on back. Good job. Let's do a calf stretch here before we wrap up with the rest of our stretches. Heel is planted, toes are pointing forward, reaching that back heel down and coming into the front leg. Nice stretch in through the back of the calf. Other side. Heel draws to the floor as we sink into that front leg. Great stretch here. And the other side again. We do go through stretches a little bit faster here than I usually prescribe them. I tell people when you're stretching at home, especially for therapeutic purposes, we want to have a nice, long, gentle stretch. 20 to 30 second hold, 2 to 3 times on each side. Gentle pull. We're not yanking anything. We're not bouncing anything. We're very slow and controlled. All right, let's sit down. We're going to start out with our neck stretch, hand behind the back, or you can just have it down along the chair here. You can actually do a little bit of a hold on the bottom of the chair and lean away while you're doing this. That creates a bit of a gap in that shoulder joint actually, which can feel really nice for some people. If you want, you can get some over pressure there with the head a little bit. And the other side. Nice stretch on that big upper trapezius. You can, other side, roll your head forward a little bit here. See how that changes the stretch? Is that a better stretch for you? Everyone's built a little different. You want to find what works best for you. Ear to shoulder. Give yourself a bit of a roll forward if you need. Great job. Let's do our twist. I really like to reach for the back of my chair with this hand. Get the chest involved. Nice twist from the seat to the crown. Twist. Looking over that shoulder as far as you can. Nice and slow. Thinking about how important it is to be able to do this movement. And if we can practice doing it in a nice, safe, controlled environment like this, it's going to make it that much easier for us, that much safer for us to replicate this movement in a more uncontrolled environment, like when we shoulder check in our car or something like that. Let's do our side stretch. Nice big reach, stretching through the ribs. There, other way. Good to create some space in through the side. Big stretch and reach with that hand. Make sure you're not falling off of your chair. Big reach. Good job. Okay, we're going to do our glutes. So bringing the ankle onto the knee, sitting nice and tall, taking a breath and making sure that you're relaxing into this leg. So we want to feel a nice stretch in through the side of the butt and down the leg. Some people feel it also on the inner thigh here. Sitting nice and tall, hinging forward. Now, if this is causing problems in your knee or in the hip joint, you'll know if it's a joint pain versus a pulling kind of pain. You can do that modified piriformis stretch where we draw the knee towards the opposite shoulder and twist into it. Okay? Ankle onto knee, sitting nice and tall, feeling that pull and hinging forward ever so slightly. Good job. Keeping good posture here. Okay. Other side again. Ankle onto knee. Sitting nice and tall. I'm never forcing anything down. Just that little bit of a lean forward is going to take care of that stretch for me. And as I stretch out in through the hip here, this knee is going to come down because you might be sitting here like this, and that's okay. As we stretch out the hip rotator, that knee is going to be able to come down further. Other side, go onto knee, sitting nice and tall and hinging forward at the hip. That means that my posture is still very well maintained and I'm not curling through my back like that. Really thinking about drawing forward from the belly button. Okay. All right, last one is going to be our hamstring stretch. Plant the heel, engage the toe. Again, sitting nice and tall, keeping good posture. I do sit quite far forward in my seat for this, or else I find I'm not able to get that stretch and hinging forward. Keeping that toe engaged, because if we relax, we lose the stretch. We want to keep that toe engaged. Posture is also engaged. All right, and the other side, plant the heel, engage the toe, sitting tall, hinging forward. You might see that you're a little tighter on one side than the other. That's okay. Nice way to protect the knee here. Let's switch sides. Plant the heel, engage the toe. Nice way to protect the knee is to actually make a muscle with your quad here and imagine you're drawing your kneecap up towards you. And then activate the posture and hinge forward. You'll see it might feel a little bit easier on your knee so you're not hyperextending if you're prone to that. And we're still getting a really nice effective stretch in through the back of the leg. Last one, plant the heel, engage the toe, sitting nice and tall, hinging forward. Think about activating this quad, so that means that kneecap is drawing up the leg. You're imagining that movement happening, it's going to protect the knee. All right. Great work. So I hope you're all keeping well. I hope you're staying warm and safe with all the snow that we're getting now that winter is finally here. If you guys have any questions or comments or concerns, feel free to call us here at the office. Talk to your doctor about having a one-on-one referral. Send a carrier pigeon. We talked about those before. But until next time, I hope you all stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you for joining us, and we'll catch you again soon. Bye.